Hey everybody, it is the Macabre Tavern back with another video review. Today we are doing Little Monsters on day 14 of our 31 days of Halloween. And there's only one movie we could do here. Gremlins. All right, Gremlins from 1984. Let's just get straight into the plot because we all know and love this movie. I've yet to hear one person say bad thing about this movie. Struggling inventor Randall Peltzer visits a Chinatown antique store hoping to find a Christmas present for his son Billy. In it, Randall finds a small and furry creature called a Maoguai, which in Cantonese means a devil. The owner, Mr. Wing, refuses to sell it to Randall, but his grandson secretly does, warning Randall to remember these three important rules concerning the Maoguai. Do not expose the creature to light, especially sunlight, which will kill it. Do not let it come into contact with water. And above all, yeah, you know the third rule, never feed it after midnight. In Randall's hometown of Kingston Falls, Billy works at the local bank but fears his dog Barney will be put down by the widowed Mrs. Deagle. His father returns and gives him the Maoguai, now named Gizmo, as a pet, explaining the three rules. Gizmo is friendly and docile, but when Billy's friend Pete Fontaine accidentally spills water on Gizmo, five more Maoguai spawn from him, a more mischievous sort led by the aggressive Stripe, named after the mohawk-like tuft of fur on his head. Billy shows one of the Maoguai to his former elementary school science teacher, Mr. Hanson, spawning another Maoguai, whom Hanson experiments on. Back at home, Stripe and his fellow Maoguai trick Billy into feeding them after midnight by severing the power cord on his alarm clock. They form cocoons, and so as does Hanson's Maoguai, which soon hatch, emerging as destructive monsters called Gremlins. Yes, they are the ones that torture Gizmo, who is unchanged since he didn't eat the food from earlier. They attack Billy's mother, Lynn, while Hanson is murdered by his gremlin. Lynn and Billy are able to kill the gremlins except for Stripe, who escapes to a local YMCA where he jumps into the swimming pool. That spawns an army of gremlins that wreak havoc in Kingston Falls. Many people are injured or killed by the gremlins' outright rampage, including Mrs. Deagle. The police provide no help in the situation, and they too fall victims to the gremlins. Billy rescues his girlfriend, Kate. They hide in the bank where Kate reveals to Billy and Gizmo that when she was 9 years old, her father went missing on Christmas Eve and did not come home on Christmas Day either. Several days later, he was found dead in their chimney while dressed as Santa. You're not really supposed to go down the chimney. I'm just saying. Still suffering from PTSD, Kate confesses this is how she lost her Christmas spirit. Billy and Kate then soon discover that gremlins are watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in the local theater. They set off a natural gas explosion, killing all the gremlins except for Stripe, who had left the theater earlier to get candy at a Montgomery Ward store across the street. As morning approaches, they follow Stripe into the department store where he attempts to use a fountain to spawn more gremlins. However, Gizmo opens the skylight, exposing the sunlight to Stripe and killing him. The local news reports on the day's mysterious tragedies. Mr. Wing reclaims Gizmo at the Peltzer home. He scolds the family for their negligence and criticizes Western society for his carelessness with nature. However, he turns to leave. Gizmo has already bonded with Billy, bids him goodbye. A touched Wing then concedes that Billy may be ready one day, and then Gizmo will be waiting. So there you go. Zach Galligan is Billy. Yes, Kate is Phoebe Cates. That Phoebe Cates a couple years before that scene. Uh, Hoyt Axton is Peltzer. Polly Holiday is Ruby Dingle. Lynn Peltzer is played by Frances Lee McCain. Judge Reinhold is Gerald Hopkins. So yes, you have both of them in this movie, and everybody knows what scene I'm talking about. Okay. Oh, so many great actors in this movie too. By the way, you had Corey Feldman was in this movie as well, and a whole bunch of great characters in this. Again, I love this movie. It's amazing. Steven Spielberg made a cameo as a man who rode a bicycle. Jerry Goldsmith plays a man in the booth. Chuck Jones plays Mr. Jones, Billy's drawing mentor. Yeah, by the way, Chuck Jones would also create the title sequences for Gremlins 2, those of you didn't know. Howie Mandel, of course, is Gizmo in this. Frank Welker and Michael Winslow credited as Stripe. Don Steele was Rockin' Ricky Ritalio. Uh, Again, so many great. Just this is just one of the greatest movies ever, and yes, it is in my Christmas rotation every single year. All right, this is one of the best movies, and yes, it's one of the best Christmas movies of all time. All right, so that will take care of day 14. We'll be back for day 15 tomorrow.